Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we'll be going through the series Wednesday. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The episode opens with Wednesday Addams walking into her high school as the kids stare at the unusual girl and keep their distance. Wednesday gives them no mind and single-mindedly walks over to where her locker is, which we see is defaced with graffiti from Bullies. She opens up her locker, where her brother is tied up with an apple stuffed into his mouth. She asks him who was responsible, but he doesn't know. Suddenly, Wednesday throws her head back and visions flash across her mind, and she sees Pugsley being ambushed by some school bullies. Afterwards, she tells her brother that she'll take care of it. In the next scene, Wednesday is making her way towards the swimming pool area where the boys who bullied Pugsley are having a practice session. They mock Wednesday when they see her, but she doesn't say anything. Instead, she holds up two bags which contain piranha fish. The boys' faces go from being confused to horrified as they start hurrying to get out, just as Wednesday lets go of the fish and they fall into the water. She then watches in glee as the piranhas reach the head bully and start biting him. In the next scene, we see a big black car driving along the road. Inside is Wednesday's family: her brother Pugsley, her parents Gomez and Morticia Addams, and their butler Lurch. As her parents continue their exaggerated PDA, Wednesday sulks. She is not happy that she is being shipped off to the boarding school where her parents met and fell in love after she got expelled. Her parents try to console her by saying that Nevermore Academy is the perfect place for her, as it is a school that houses outcasts of every sort. But Wednesday is unimpressed, angry that her parents are forcing her to follow in their footsteps. As their car drives on, we see a pickup truck pull up to the side of the road. Inside, a hiker thanks the driver for giving him a lift and laughs off her warnings about the trail going right past Nevermore. Meanwhile, Wednesday and her family arrive at the school, which is a Gothic-style building, complete with statues of gargoyles and a huge wrought iron gate. They are introduced to Principal Weems, who is a well-groomed woman, and it turns out she and Morticia used to be roommates back in the day. Weems tells them that they usually don't take students midterm, but due to Wednesday's parents being alumni and her A grades, they've decided to make an exception, even though she's been expelled out of 8 schools in the last 5 years. Wednesday continues to sulk while her parents smile proudly. We also find out that Wednesday was named after a line in Morticia's favorite poem, "Wednesday's child is full of woe." Weems then escorts Wednesday and her parents to her new dorm, Ophelia Hall, which was her mother's dorm as well. Wednesday's room is half decorated in pinks and regular teenage decoration, which horrifies the Addams family. Gomez points out that Wednesday is allergic to colors as he gazes at the painfully colorful window. Enid, Wednesday's roommate, skips towards them, greeting Wednesday cheerily. The principal encourages Enid to show Wednesday around, and Enid is happy to oblige. Enid gives an uninterested Wednesday the tea on the 4 main school cliques: the Fangs, meaning the vampires, the Furs, meaning the werewolves, the Stoners, who are Gorgons, and the Scales, who are Sirens. She also points out Queen Bee, Bianca Barclay, and her boyfriend Xavier Thorpe. A Gorgon named Ajax, who is Enid's crush, walks up to her and tells her the rumors going around about Wednesday, which include murder and cannibalism. Wednesday does nothing to deny them, but only builds on it, and so cementing her status as an outcast in a school for outcasts. Her parents leave with some parting gifts, which include an obsidian necklace from her mother, a crystal ball, and Thing, who is a disembodied hand and one of the Addams family mysteries. Meanwhile, the hiker in the woods is mauled to death by a terrifying and unknown creature. The sheriff, Galpin, is convinced that this murder, the third one of its kind, is related to Nevermore. While settling into her room, Wednesday strips half the window of its color, which angers Enid. The two clash as Enid likes color and is outgoing, while Wednesday can only bear monochromes and is very somber. In her anger, Enid flashes her werewolf claws, but their fight is broken up by the arrival of Miss Thornhill, their dorm mom and the only normie teacher at the school. Miss Thornhill gives Wednesday a black dahlia as a welcome gift and tells her the rules. Wednesday's first day at school is spent challenging Bianca for a fencing match in order to stand up for Rowan in her own way, who is a weak student that Bianca was bullying. Wednesday proposes they fence without masks and tips, and whoever draws first blood wins. Bianca beats, which upsets Wednesday. As she gets a band-aid put on her scratch, Rowan, who is also in the infirmary, thanks her for standing up for him. Later, as she is making her way back, someone attempts to kill her by trying to push a gargoyle onto her. She is pushed out of the way by Xavier. Wednesday wakes up later and demands Xavier why he saved her, as she did not ask for it. He tells her that this was instinct and also he was returning the favor. He reveals that their grandmothers are friends, and when they were both 10, they met at a funeral. There, Wednesday had saved his life after he hid in a casket during hide-and-seek and would have been cremated if she hadn't heard the muffled screams and stopped the casket from being cremated. All day, Thing follows her around, keeping an eye until he is eventually discovered hiding under her bed cover and forced into pledging loyalty to her alone. In the afternoon, Principal Weems drives Wednesday to the nearest town, Jericho, so that Wednesday can attend her court-issued therapy session. Weems tells Wednesday that she's keeping an eye on her, but during her session, Wednesday excuses herself to go to the toilet and manages to escape through the window. She runs into a local farmer and has a violent vision of his death in a road accident. She wanders into Weathervane, the local cafe, where she helps the barista, Tyler, by fixing his espresso machine as the instructions are in Italian and he can't read. When asked, she admits that of course she knows Italian. It was Machiavelli's natural tongue. She asks him to return the favor by driving her out of town, but he can't do so until he finishes the shift. Wednesday unsuccessfully tries to bribe him with money, but Tyler says he can't be bought. While he finishes his shift, Wednesday fends off bullies who are dressed as pilgrims as they work at Pilgrim World, a local tourist attraction celebrating the town's history. She easily beats off 3 teenage boys using the martial arts skills taught to her by her Uncle Fester. Sheriff Galpin, who is also Tyler's dad, arrives and is impressed by Wednesday but tells her to stay out of trouble. He is prejudiced against her because he believes that her father is a murderer. Principal Weems finally catches up to Wednesday and drives her back to school. On the way, they witness the aftermath of an accident, which is the same accident Wednesday witnessed in her dream. Later that night, Wednesday goes out to the dorm's balcony area where she practices her cello. In what appears to be a disused library, Rowan uses telekinetic powers to find a book and then removes a page from it that seems to show Wednesday being attacked by a man in a large hat. At the police station, Tyler reads Gomez's file. In his office, the sheriff looks over his murder investigation on a chalkboard. In the quad, Xavier pauses painting a raven mural to listen to Wednesday's music. Marilyn feeds her Venus flytrap some worms and smiles at the music as well. Finally, Principal Weems leans back in her office to appreciate the music. Enid joins Wednesday on the balcony and is introduced to Thing, partially creeped out and partially fascinated. As the furs are heard baying and howling in the distance, Enid explains how she is actually a late-blooming werewolf who currently only has claws and no other werewolf abilities. The best lioncologist, who lives in Milwaukee, told Enid that she may never transform, which would leave her a lone wolf ostracized from a werewolf society. Enid, crying, asks Wednesday if she's ever cried. She tells the story of when she was 6 and a group of bullies made her watch as they killed her pet scorpion Nero by running him over with a bicycle. She says that she cried in the snow after burying what was left of Nero, but swore to never cry again because it doesn't fix anything. Enid promises to not tell anyone, and both girls agree that they see each other as weird as shit. Wednesday then asks Enid to show her how to use her computer so she can escape and Enid can have her single room back. The next scene shows us Thing making his way to Tyler's house and knocking on his window. Tyler naturally freaks out upon seeing Thing, but Thing manages to get his attention long enough to show him the phone number Wednesday has written on his palm. Tyler contacts Wednesday and she asks him to help her escape during the Harvest Festival fair, in which attendance is mandatory. Tyler agrees and arrives at the fair with his father warning him to stay away from Wednesday. While biding her time, Wednesday wanders to a stall where Xavier comes up to her and tries to strike up a conversation with her. She tells him she's waiting for someone and he asks who, to which she says what does it matter to him. Tyler arrives and we see that there is some tension between the two boys. As Wednesday and Tyler are rushing towards his car, Tyler hands her the file he got from the sheriff's office on her father, but the Pilgrim World bullies arrive to get back at Wednesday. They are back with baseball bats for vengeance, which makes Wednesday and Tyler run in order to lose them in the crowd. While running, Wednesday bumps into Rowan and has a vision of his death as he is being mauled to death in the forest. As Rowan gets up and runs into the forest, she runs after him. Once they finally stop, he tells her that he's not the one in danger and using his telekinesis, pins her to a tree trunk. She asks him what he is doing and Rowan confesses that he has already tried to kill her once with the gargoyle. He says that his mother, who was a seer, drew her picture 25 years ago, foreseeing that Wednesday will destroy the school. Rowan says that it is his fate to stop her and begins to strangle her, but Wednesday is saved when a monster attacks and kills Rowan. Wednesday rushes over to him, but he is dead and pockets the picture he showed her. The last scene of the episode shows us Wednesday sitting at her desk looking at the picture of herself and the file on her father. Just then, her parents communicate through the crystal ball, and Morticia asks her daughter how her first week was. Wednesday mulls it over, going over the fact that she narrowly escaped death twice, discovered that her father might be a murderer, learned that she could potentially destroy the school, and was saved by a homicidal monster. She then says that as much as it pains her to admit it, her mother was right, she might actually love it here. She smiles at the camera as the episode ends. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get more recap video of Wednesday.